Hey everybody, this is Polly, and I thought I'd give you a quick tour of my property here, give you a sense of where things are and kind of how it's all laid out in scale. You may hear the English toys barking in the background. That's because they'd like to come and help. However, they like to go on walkabout, and I don't like it when they go on walkabout. So there you be. We'll start right up here by the house. You can see this area here. I've been working since last year trying to get this as killed off as I can. I think I've got it about 2/3 of it ready to plant, I think. Well, not ready to plant. I need to get rid of all the rocks and turn the dirt and add some fertilizer and all that good stuff. It was all greenery when I came. It was fine, but it was pretty boring. So I thought a lot of the flowers that I got, I will put in here to start with. Over here on this side, you can see again, this was all greenery and trees. Thank you, Julie Chiswick. We got most of the trees chopped down. That was a wonderful thing. I'm not quite as far with getting things kind of dead here. Probably by next year it'll be better. Also in here, you can see this giant drop off down to the steps and then a great big step up. I want to dig these stepping stones up and try to fill it in with some dirt and then put the stepping stones back down so that it's not quite. It's kind of dangerous actually, particularly in the winter when you can't see where you're going. You can see here plain green hostas planted along the side of the garage. Very boring. They're all exactly the same. Over here we have some variety in hostas. However, they don't necessarily all go together that well. This is the same plain green as on the other side. And then a blue hosta, which is kind of out of place because then we've got variegated. And this is the same as what's on the other side. However, it's so cramped in there, it's not getting any sun, and that's why it's a lighter color. And then we've got the same plain green hostas everywhere else. And finally, a different plain green hosta. So I want to get this kind of sorted out and have it make a little bit more sense maybe. We will hope so anyway. We're going to go moving along here out to the driveway. Give you a sense. Kino's helping me. You can see this giant pine tree. Oh, there we go. Giant pine tree all the way up to the sky. If I were rich and had a really tall ladder and wasn't afraid to climb it, I think that would be awesome in the winter time to throw Christmas lights all over it. But, you know, whatever. We're going to start down here along the side of the driveway. You can see I haven't mowed this week. I apologize. But down along here, if you look, you can see some of the little baby peonies that I planted last summer. They're coming along. Maybe by next year. Well, actually, I read somewhere this morning it takes 3 years. It's not until the 3rd year that peonies bloom. So maybe in 2 more years they'll bloom. Over here we have Siberian iris and some spiderwort and lots of lilies. These are mostly yellow when they actually start blooming here in a bit. Kino, come. Okay, we're going to go back around the tree here. Kino, come. Thank you. It was naughty. Okay, we're now on the south side of the house. And you can see along here, this is all going to be purple coneflowers. All purple coneflowers along here. I haven't chopped them down. I'm not really sure if you're supposed to or not. I don't remember at my old house having all of this remaining throughout the fall and winter, But in the beginning when I came out here, I read something about that you should leave them so that the birds have something to pick on throughout the winter. So, well, I've been leaving them. Right here is another mound of plain green hostas. Kino's watering them, as well as some weeds I need to pull out. And I don't know what this thing is. It was growing over in one of those garden areas by the house when I came. And I've been chopping everywhere I find it. And I've been using herbicide and everything else. It just won't die. If anybody knows what it is, I would sure appreciate it. We're going to keep coming. You can see I've got lots of pine trees here. Kino. Here's this yellow thing that we decided might be some kind of a rose. Give you a sense. I'm just going to keep backing up. Here we go. There it is. Not really sure. It smells pretty. Whatever it is, it sure does smell pretty. Kino, come. We're going to walk around. You can see we're walking around the dog yard. And you can see down in here all of these iris. Lots and lots of iris hidden in here where no one will ever see them. I find it odd. Here are a couple that have started blooming. They're very pretty. They're gorgeous and again hidden away. Down along here we've got lilac bushes that didn't bloom last year and haven't bloomed this year, but they look relatively healthy, so I'm not quite sure what the deal is, why they're not blooming. Here we go. You can see this one had some blooms. Not sure if that's left over from this year or last. This is also a lilac. However, the blooms were teeny tiny, almost microscopic. Here gives you a sense of that. I'm not sure what that is, what the deal is with that either. Again, I'm now on the east side of the house. You can see more pine trees. I've lost my dog. Inside this great big weed thing is where I found the little purple flowers. There's more plain green hosta. There is one variegated hosta down in there. More plain green hosta. And then this is a lilac bush. It did bloom last year and again this year, but it didn't smell very pretty, and you can see it really needs to be thinned out. And I feel like it's maybe almost spent. That once I thin out all of the stuff that's not growing anymore, there may not be much bush left. We'll keep going north along the east side of the house. And here you can see peonies. I found these last year underneath this tree in an area again where no one will ever see it. They're gorgeous, but you can't see them from the house and you have to kind of be looking for them. I may try to move some of them when we get later in the summer and fall. But you can see they're just gorgeous. I'm still going north along the east side of the property. And we're going down the ditch. Kino, come. Kino, get out of the road. So here is the fern peony. You can see it stopped blooming for the year. And you can see I haven't mowed it because I didn't want to mow it off. It's next to this tree. I don't know what kind of tree this is. If I had a saw, I would chop it down. But I don't have a saw right now, so that won't happen. And then we've got another tree over here of the same kind. From here, we would have to go out into the road and go north to access the rest of the property. But it's all woods. You can see we've reached the tree line into the woods. And you can see a real change here from where the mowing stops. Here under this tree, this is a great big pine tree of some kind, you can see this is the same plain green hosta that's everywhere else. And to give you a sense of scale, that comes out probably at least 10 to 12 feet from the tree, all the way around in a circle. That's a lot of plain green hostas. Over here, down just into the timber, you can see there's a field of ferns. I'm not a big fern fan, but for right now I got other things to deal with. Honeysuckle. Oh my gosh, so much honeysuckle it's not even funny. This goes and goes, and I'll tell you about this tree in just a second here. Goes and goes. And you can see it's a pretty big stand of honeysuckle. This right over here I think is a clematis, but it's pretty boring. It gets one white flower in the fall. That's it for the whole year. That's the extent of the foliage, and again, one white flower. It might go. This tree here I promised to tell you about. This is a redwood. Kino, where are you? Kino! Oh, I hear a car. I don't see my dog. Okay. This is a redwood. It's kind of boring, but it doesn't really hurt anything, and it would be a big tree for me to try to chop down, so not gonna try. Here I am on the north side of the house. You can see more plain green hosta. More plain green hosta. They're all the same. All the same. I'm going to step inside the dog yard here just for a second. Over here, filled in with a whole bunch of weeds, are lilies. They're mostly yellow, or all yellow. Got a lot of weeds in there. Not sure how much I care. Over here, I'll show you first. Down in here is one of the holes that Rio dug out. I miss you, Rio, baby. Along here, all of these purple things. Last year, I thought maybe they were garden phlox, but there were just a handful of them on the south side of the house. As you can see, they're taking over the world, so I'm thinking they're probably Dame Rocket. It's invasive, but right now I've got bigger problems like the honeysuckle, the pampas grass, all of those fun kind of things. So the Dame Rocket probably won't get dealt with for a while. Kino, come. So now we're walking west along the north side of the property. This right here, this is what I refer to as the big yard. When we come outside to play and have lots of fun, this is where we come. You can see the gazebo. With more honeysuckle and Dame Rocket behind it. And it looks like I need to get out. Looks like I need to get out with the herbicide and clean that up. It wasn't like that last week when I mowed. Oh, how fast things grow when it rains. You can't see it in there, but there's more plain green hostas back behind the gazebo. You can see the Dame Rocket, the honeysuckle in there underneath the tree, the big boulder. The previous people had a thing for big boulders. You can see here's the back side of the garage, aka training building. I don't know if you can see or not from here. I'm kind of far away right now. There's a whole bunch of ferns and weeds growing. I just had those chopped down all the way to the ground last week. I keep using herbicide, trying to clean it up. I'd like to turn that into more flowers, but it's not ready yet. You can see the pampas grass. It's coming up. It's not chopped down or burned or anything because I've read several places that encourages it to grow. So I'm trying to discourage it from growing. I keep spraying it with herbicide. I don't know if I'll ever win. If we keep going west, you will see the shed. It's kind of run down, but it is dry inside. It has electric, and it holds a lot of stuff, so it serves its purpose. Over here, we've got some daylilies that will come up. Some more spiderwort. And down the side, guess what? Plain green hostas. Who would have known? Here's more daylilies. This is a nice little planting of native grasses. I wish they'd done that everywhere instead of the pampas grass, but oh well. Over here, I'm told this used to be a chicken coop. I'll step back so you can see it here. I think it would be lovely with flowering vines on it. Has some kind of vine that they planted. I'm not really sure what it is. It doesn't flower. And it doesn't really do anything for me, so maybe next year or the year after I'll get busy with the herbicide and start trying to get rid of it so I can plant something else. Down in here, I just discovered this morning, there's a white peony. I had no idea there was a white peony stuck in there. There's some Asiatic lilies just stuck in here and there. Lots of lily of the valley. These are yucca plants. I think they're ugly. I've gotten rid of the ones that were up by the house. More Asiatic lilies. A bench that's been looking about that overgrown since the first time I saw the property. Spiderwort. Lots of weeds at some point. I can only do it in chunks, so it'll be a while, but at some point I'll get in here and start cleaning this out. Lots of spirea. It's about done blooming for the year. It was really pretty earlier because it was just like a wall of white. But I think I will probably chop it down at some point because A, it's hard to mow around, and B, it kind of impacts the view from the house. The view would be much prettier without that there. Let's keep going. Now I'm going to head south. Looking out this way, that's a cypress tree. They were very proud that they got it to grow in Iowa. That kind of gives you an idea of how boggy my land can get, particularly down in that little whatever you call it there. Can get really, really boggy. Just looking the other way, this is the big yard. We're walking south now. This gives you another view of the garage and the weeds, the ferns, the pampas grass. Time to go this way. Gotta keep an eye on Keno. The traffic's picking up on the road. So here we are headed back up the hill from down. You can see there's trees along, they've planted more trees along the tree line here. Oh goodness, again, if I had a saw, I would chop them down. I really need to get a saw so I can start chopping. Like to chop. I would also chop these trees down just because I'd really like a clean line between the timber and the grass, and they kind of are in the way of that. Down here, Keno, come. They had planted. Keno, come. Keno, come. They had planted all these little bushes along here right before they decided to sell. Well, no, I shouldn't say that. Right before they did put it up for sale. And they were so small. Oh, there's one that remains. My mower and I took care of them. They're right just inside the property line. And, oh my gosh, they're all growing back stronger than ever. Oh dear. This is going to be a problem, I can see. Again, in the way of mowing, keeping a clean line between timber and not timber. Keno, come. Over here, I think these are forsythia, maybe. Keno, come! I think these are forsythia. But when I get my saw, oh, we don't need all these bushes. Because if we go farther out, here along the south ditch of the property, you can see we have more of whatever those purple things are that they planted along the property line. I'm not sure what this is. Maybe some, I don't know what. It's purple. You can see these over here. Keno. You can see, I think that's forsythia, but I'm not sure. Apple tree. It had lots of apples last year. Another apple tree with lots of apples made the deer very happy between the two of them. Over here you can see the burn pile. It's in the middle of this field. I think this field would be amazing as an agility field if it weren't for A, the burn pile, B, this planting of Siberia iris, which could easily be, well, not easily, but at least some of them could be moved and relocated to somewhere else. This is probably 10 feet by, oh, probably 10 by 10. It's a bit of a circle, a bit more of an oval. Just this one color of Siberian iris, which is beautiful, but not very exciting. And it's starting to sprinkle on me a bit here, but we're almost back again. Here's another view of the pampas grass along the garage. Over here are some hydrangea. These are white hydrangea. So I've been reading, and I guess you can't change the color of white ones. And again, I'm not sure if I should be continuing to, I'm not sure if I should be chopping last year's growth out or leaving it, so I've been leaving it. I tried to mow over that, but it was really hard. Here is another lilac. And like the one in the front, it's pretty well spent out. It needs to have a lot of chopping done. And again, I'm not sure how much will be left once I'm done with that. One little peony over here again. Lots of lilies of the valley. More daylilies. Here along the edge of the driveway, you can see my little peony plantings I did late last summer. They're coming up. I read this morning it takes 3 years for them to bloom. So I won't expect that to happen anytime soon. Out here, give you a sense. There's the pampas grass along the road. It's becoming more and more invasive and obnoxious. Kino, this way. Come on. More plain green hostas under the pine tree. This is where we are. We're back at the front of the house again. With those 2 flower beds that I've been working on so that I can make them into flower beds. There's my little kitty. Again, more rocks, boulders, whatever you call them. This one isn't quite ready yet, I don't think, for planting. And it'll take some effort to get all that rock braked out. And the same thing over here. This all I have to work on this some more and rake out the rock. Down here where I'm thinking it's closer to ready, I just have to rake out the rock and fertilize, turn the dirt, all of that good stuff. So that's a walk around my property, more or less. We didn't go into the timber. We'll do that another day, and you can see what's down in the timber. If you have any questions, let me know. If you see something that you think you would like to share, let me know. A lot of things I'm open to sharing, some things not. But let me know if you want to come out and visit. Everyone is always welcome to come out and visit. The yard is a great place to let dogs run safely. That's about it. Thank you. Bye-bye.